Psychologists say one of the most unsettling crimes is the one where the killer stays after the murder. Imagine waking up in a remote farmhouse, the walls still echoing with last night's screams, only to realize the murderer never left. This isn't a horror film plot. It's the real-life mystery of the Hinterkaifeck axe murders. In late March 1922, the Gruber family, Andreas, his wife Casilia, their widowed daughter Victoria, and her 2 young children, lived on a secluded farm called Hinterkaifeck, about 70 kilometers north of Munich. Their home sat far from neighbors, surrounded by dense woods and open fields. Life there was quiet, almost too quiet. But days before the murders, strange things began happening. Andreas reported finding unfamiliar footprints in the snow leading from the forest to his home, but none leading back. He heard footsteps in the attic at night. A set of house keys went missing. Even a strange newspaper appeared on the property, one no one in the household subscribed to. Neighbors urged Andreas to call the police, but he dismissed the idea. Days later, they would all be dead. On the evening of March 31st, the killer made their move. We still don't know exactly how it happened, but evidence suggests the murderer lured family members, one by one, into the barn. Andreas was likely first, then his wife, then Victoria, and finally little Casilia. Each victim was struck with a mattock, a type of pickaxe, brutally and without mercy. Casilia, just 7 years old, was found clutching her hair, torn out in panic before she died. Inside the house, the killer found 2-year-old Joseph in his crib and murdered him as well. The maid, Maria Baumgartner, who had only started her job that day, was also killed. 6 people gone in a single night. Here's where the case gets even stranger. The killer didn't flee right away. For several days after the murders, neighbors saw smoke rising from the chimney. Livestock were fed, and meals were eaten in the kitchen. It's as if the murderer made themselves at home. No one discovered the bodies until 4 days later, when neighbors came to check on the family. They found the gruesome scene in the barn, the house eerily tidy, and the animals well cared for. Police were baffled. There were no clear signs of forced entry. Whoever did this knew the farm well, and possibly even the family's routines. The weapon, the mattock, was found months later, hidden in the attic. Dozens of suspects were questioned. Disgruntled neighbors, local men with grudges, even Victoria's rumored lover. Some believed the motive was robbery, but valuables were left untouched. Others whispered about a deeply personal revenge. One disturbing theory suggested that Andreas had a history of abuse toward Victoria, and that a relative or spurned lover could have been driven to kill. But no evidence was strong enough to convict anyone. The most haunting part of the Hinterkaifeck mystery isn't just the brutality, it's the silence afterward. Imagine walking into a murder scene and realizing someone's been living here since the victims died, eating their food, feeding their animals, sleeping under the same roof as the bodies. To this day, no one knows who did it. The farmhouse was demolished in 1923, but the mystery still lingers in the cold Bavarian air, like a shadow that refuses to fade. Some crimes are unsolved because the clues are missing. This one remains unsolved because the answers may be too horrifying to face.